The Canucks, Jamie, with another poor effort resulting in a fourth straight loss, but they still are tied atop the NHL standings. Do you like Tocchet's approach to publicly call out his players?
I do, but I feel like I've heard this speech before, and it was about 3 games into the season when they went into Philadelphia and put up a dud. Now, Rich Tocchet has a history in that building, and certainly he wants his team to play a lot like him and emulate him, and they did not work hard that night early in the season. That might have been the TSN turning point for that organization, because after that, they took off, and they haven't really looked back. And yes, it has been a little bit of a dip recently, and now he's called them out again and said, I don't like your work ethic. We need to be a lot better, a lot harder. And he actually spelled out a word which he'd like them to play a little bit more with. And that's, again, just a little bit of a cattle prod there saying, guys, we're lulling ourselves to sleep a little bit. I need more from you, especially down the stretch here. So it's timed perfectly. We're going to see if the Vancouver Canucks have a response against the Boston Bruins, another top-tier team in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, you look with the trade deadline coming closer, they really jumped the gun and got a big move done early when they landed Elias Lindholm well before the deadline. There's now only 2 weeks to go until March 8th. With the Canucks struggling here lately, do you think Jim Rutherford and Patrik Allvin will be motivated to make another big splash?
Motivated, yes, but you also have to be calculated. And that's, I think, the difference between those conversations, because if you get everybody on that roster playing up to their potential, I don't think they have to make many moves. Maybe add a little depth player here, depth forward there, depth defenseman. But in all positions, they have depth. It's about moving the deck chairs around, making sure the pieces of the puzzle fit. And if Zadorov's a guy, maybe that doesn't fit perfectly, maybe they do something with him or other players. But if they feel like he's an answer, and especially in the playoffs, a big, strong guy, then you start to look at just trim around the edges. So guaranteed, I'm sure they have 1 or 2 players circled and targeted if the asking price isn't too much. But the reason why they were able to move and really add players a lot earlier is they were dealing from a position of strength. Because when you're near the top of the league, you really don't need much to add to your group, but you want it. It's a luxury. It's a vanity purchase. So we'll see what they do here heading into the deadline, but I don't think there's any more major moves coming. It's more maybe just filling out the edges.
And they are still at the top of the league standings. When it comes to President's Trophy odds, though, the Canucks have slipped to a tie for third on FanDuel at plus 650. The Rangers now the favorite, with the Panthers close behind. Jamie McLennan. Thanks, Noodles.